Hey guys, welcome back. Scott here with a new beer dissection video. What I have today is from a new brewery, not a brand new brewery for me, from Grimm, which is out of Brooklyn, New York. Okay, it's the first time I'm having a beer from them. It is called their Wavetable India Pale Ale, or IPA, obviously. It's coming in at 6.7% alcohol. I think I looked real quick on the website because I'm not familiar with them. I think they're using Citra, Mosaic, and Strata hops. Okay, and that's it. I mean, it's called Wavetable India Pale Ale, Grimm Brewery, Brooklyn, New York. Keep cold, drink now. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Again, at 6.7% alcohol. But other than that, that's the only other stuff on the label. I'm guessing, I mean, it's probably not a out of bounds guess, is that this is going to be kind of like a New England IPA, but we will see. Okay, so let's crack this bad boy open and take a look at it. I'm just using my typical tulip pint glass here. Okay. All right. Let's pour this out. Give a little more aggressiveness to the pour so we can take a look at this head. All right, so let's take a look at this. So we got a nice, pretty nice inch, maybe inch and a quarter, white, dense head. Wow, I'm getting hit with aromatics already here. Pretty tight bubbles, kind of giving me that little bit of espresso-like Cool Whip look on top. Looks pretty nice. On one side of the glass, you're probably not going to be able to see it here. There is a little bit more of a soda bubble effect, which isn't as ideal, but most of it is pretty tight, compact, white to maybe slightly off-white head. So let's take a look at this. We got a pretty, light to medium gold color. We got a little opaqueness to it. It's not as hazy as most New England juicy hazy IPAs. I'm not going to say it's clear. I mean, there's definitely some haze, probably some chill haze, copious amounts of hops being used. Remember, if you've watched me before, sometimes, I don't know the grist on this beer, but I say this on most of my New England IPA beers, and this one's looking like a New England IPA. They sometimes use a certain amount of unmalted wheat and or oats to kind of create some of the protein structure in there that creates some of the haze. But again, they are usually using copious amounts of hops. The polyphenols, the hop matter kind of creates that haziness also. And sometimes even the yeast. It depends on the flocculation of the yeast. And so this one, kind of that, medium gold color. Again, there is definitely some haze, but not as opaque and kind of milk-like that I would get on a lot of my New England juicy IPAs. It actually looks a little thinner, maybe not as, I'm anticipating, not going to be maybe as chewy as some of the New England hazy IPAs, but New England juicy hazies, but we'll take a look at it. All right, other than that, pretty looking beer. Not much more to say about it. We are losing that head pretty quick, though, if you noticed looking on camera, which isn't ideal. My glass, I'm pretty certain, is beer clean. So, sometimes if it isn't, you're going to get nucleation points, and you may lose that head a little bit if there's some oil and stuff inside the glass. But again, I'm not going to judge the beer solely on that. All right, guys, let's take a sniff of the aroma. There's some light citrus, like orange, apricot, some tropical fruit, maybe mango, even some stone fruit like peach. I'm getting on the nose, but it may just be kind of the medley between, I say medley sometimes, between the apricot, citrus, but pretty nice. I wouldn't say grapefruit because I know a lot of you guys love grapefruit juicy hazies. And again, remember, this style of beer isn't my number one style. I do drink them. I do have a beer channel here, so I do drink them. I do enjoy them at times. I think all beer has a time and place, but it's not always my number one go-to. But because they're so popular, I want to review these. And a lot of these breweries are producing these at a copious amounts. Maybe get like a little bit of white grape. But again, tropical fruit, mango, maybe peach, apricot, or some type of citrus orange character to it. Okay, pretty nice. Malt is pretty neutral. White bread, maybe a light toast. That's about it. All right, guys, cheers, Prost. Ooh, a little highly carbonated than I thought it was going to be. We'll just start with that on the mouthfeel. Getting hot-wise, again, kind of getting a little citrus, orange, apricot. Still light mango. There's no alcoholic warmth as I'm taking it. I wouldn't expect that 6.7% anyway. The body is kind of lighter than I expected too. Like I said, when I call a beer chewy, I consider because of the thickness from maybe oats and wheat being used, as well as the matter from the hops, it kind of gives you a fuller mouthfeel, kind of medium to full bodied. This is just kind of medium bodied, a little bit lighter. Again, white bread, maybe a light, almost like when toast just starts, you put in bread in the toaster and it just starts getting a little bit harder. That's kind of where the malt is. It's not very deep and dense, and I wouldn't usually expect that. It's not a knock to the beer. New England hazy juicy IPAs, usually you're going to get kind of a neutral malt character to it. These beers should be, hop forward, compared to the malt. But, usually you want a little backbone, and you do get it here. The body, though, is just kind of medium. Is a little thinner than I expected. Again, no astringency, which is nice. On the aftertaste, we left with a little bit of a pithy citrus character. That light orange, maybe even like a little bit like a tart, almost like a little bit of a tart pineapple. I kind of get on the aftertaste too. But drinking pretty nice. It's definitely a lighter bodied beer, and I can see at 6.7% medium body that you could probably drink a few of these without feeling like you're being weighed down so much, either with the alcohol or just the overall density of the beer. So again, the body's a little bit lighter, but it has that typical citrus, tropical fruit medley. Use it twice in this video, but it's pretty nice. Only knock to it is, usually I want a little bit more, body on these juicy hazy IPAs. But if you're looking for, a New England IPA that's not smacking you in the face with citrus, especially grapefruit, which a lot of them have, and you want a little bit more approachable beer that's not, again, feeling like you're, drinking almost like, close your eyes, like an oatmeal stout in the sense of the body of the beer, this will do very nicely. So I get the bitterness level, just kind of medium to pronounced, which again, remember on New England IPAs, hazy juicies, you would expect lower bitterness than, say, a West Coast IPA, which would a lot of times definitely be pronounced, sometimes assertive, highly assertive. These are usually more approachable in the sense of bitterness. But it's pretty balanced, I got to say. It has enough malt backbone there. And I said the only knock I would have is that, you probably want a little bit more bolder, medium, full-bodied on some of these juicy hazies. It is drinking a little bit thinner, like some of the Sam Adams hazies that I've had. But overall, it's pretty nice. I can't really, I don't want to make it sound, kind of negative on the beer. It's just, there's a lot to compare it to. Grade-wise, I'm going to give it a good B for overall drinkability, enjoyability. I'll keep it B for even comparing it to a lot of other juicy, hazy IPAs. I mean, some of the big boys from Treehouse, Hill Farmstead, is Equilibrium. You know, those will probably outperform this particular beer, but again, it's a pretty good rendition of a hazy, juicy IPA. I just think the body and the mouthfeel and that kind of chewiness character that you usually try to get, like, you know, it's a little bit more subdued in the fruit, overall fruit flavor, and even the aromatics a little bit. I don't know if they're dry hopping it or double dry hopping or whatever it may be. So it's a little more subdued, but be honest with you, even though it sounds like I'm being slightly negative, for those of you that don't like to be smacked in the face with some of these other, the pendulum swings the other direction and just so much cloyingly sweet and fruit bombs, you may actually enjoy this even better. So anyway, guys, today's beer dissection is from Grimm Brewery out of Brooklyn, called Wavetable NEIPA Pale Ale. Again, at 6.7%. I would definitely recommend it. I would like to see other beers in my beer store, you know, get more of their beers and see, because it's a solid beer. Can't really go much higher than like a B. There's just so much competition in this category out there. I just find that I just can't go much higher than a B here. All right, guys, and what's great, it's not oxidized and things like that. So anyway, till the next beer dissection video, have a great day. Take care. Bye.